The movie credits inform that the picture is based on real events. The movie starts with Jessica and Evan Crowder coming home after the performance. Near the apartment, the girl complains that she is tired of wearing heels, but her fiancé says that they really suit her and she should wear them more often. Once inside, Evan realizes they'd been robbed. While Jessica complains about her grandmother's missing jewelry, an armed robber suddenly appears from the next room. The man demands the couple's wallet and wedding ring, then runs away. Evan decides to call his friend Tyler to check the apartment for clues. The policeman informs Jessica that there is little hope of catching the culprit. During the night, Evan wakes up to a strange noise and does not find his fiancée nearby. The frightened man decides to check the apartment. In the kitchen, he discovers Jessica, who has decided to move to another apartment. The couple finds a new dwelling and hopes that they will have enough money to live on after this decision. Celebrating the move, the couple are eating Chinese food and kissing when suddenly the doorbell rings. Jessica opens the door and finds a man in a suit in front of her. He informs her that his name is Simon and he lives next door. A man gives the couple a bottle of wine and tells them that he teaches male psychology. Jessica decides to lightly tease the guest, but he informs Evan that his fiancée has a great sense of humor. The couple promises that they will definitely invite Simon over for dinner once they get the unpacking sorted out. The next morning, Evan rushes to work, and Jessica thanks him for their move and the chance to start over. The girl also decides to earn money. She works as a designer, so she has no need to spend on office or transportation. Sitting at the computer, Jessica receives a call from her buddy Oscar. The guy wants to tell her some incredible news about Sierra Marshall and the police investigation. Seeing Evan's car, Jessica realizes she's been chatting with Oscar all day, so she quickly hides the materials about Sierra. Going down to Evan, the girl says that she did not have time to cook dinner. The man guesses that instead of working, Jessica once again dealt with missing persons cases. Evan asks the girl to do the work and not to talk to Oscar. The next day, Jessica invites Simon to dinner on Thursday, and the man gladly agrees. At the celebration, the girl praises Evan, who almost cooked everything himself. Simon follows Jessica with strange feelings, but tries to be friendly. The man tells her that he adheres to traditional values and that he once had a fiancée, but now she lives with someone else. Evan tells his neighbor that in addition to graphic design, his fiancée is also a bit of a detective. Jessica says she dreams of writing a book. In the evening, the lovers chat in the bedroom about how a jealous girl used to leave lipstick stains on Evan's shirts. They are closely followed by Simon. The next day, Jessica is planting flowers and decides to ask a neighbor who drives up for a shovel. Also noticing a lot of food, the girl asks if Simon has invited someone over for dinner. Nervous, the man replies that he doesn't like shopping, so he buys a lot of supplies at once, and he has the shovel, but the handle fell off on it. At dinner, Jessica shares her thoughts, but Evan asks her to stop suspecting ordinary people. The couple quarrels, but suddenly Simon knocks on the door, who brings a new shovel for Jessica, citing that he completely forgot about the girl's request. Evan decides to sleep on the couch and leaves in the morning without saying anything to his fiancée. Jessica decides to return the shovel to Simon, but the man is not at home. The girl shares her suspicions with Oscar, but he believes that there is nothing to worry about. Just in case, the buddy offers to learn more about Simon, but Jessica refuses. At the same time, the neighbor looks through his surveillance cameras. After noticing Jessica knocking on his door, Simon decides to call the girl and invite her to his place. After receiving the call, the girl is hesitant at first, but curiosity takes over. Simon decides to give the girl a beautiful dress, and when she refuses, he shows her the CCTV footage. The man believes that Jessica wants to be with him and is just afraid to admit it. The frightened girl realizes that she was right in her suspicions and tries to escape, but Simon catches her and holds a handkerchief to her face. Waking up, Jessica realizes that she is in a very strange and unfamiliar place. A girl named Robin appears in front of her and informs her that she is home. When Jessica tries to get out, the girl says that only Simon knows the code to the door. However, Evan's fiancée is not going to just give up and breaks the glass. She suddenly discovers a concrete wall in the window. Robin reports that they are in Simon's basement. A crying Jessica calls for help, But the other captive informs her that it's useless and it only angers their captor. Meanwhile, Simon gathers Jessica's belongings to fake her leaving Evan. However, the guy comes home early and starts calling for his beloved. Taking advantage of the fact that Evan has gone upstairs, Simon gets out of the house with the girl's things. Jessica continues her futile attempts to get out. When Simon enters the house, she takes advantage of the fact that the man did not close the door and tries to escape. However, she is unsuccessful. Simon tells her that even if Jessica does make it out with him, she will remain walled up, and if she fails, things will be even worse. The kidnapper suggests that the girl accept the fact that this is her new home. Meanwhile, Evan leaves his wife a message on her answering machine, but sees that the phone has been left in her office. Jessica learns from Robin that she has spent several years in this basement. Their conversation is being closely monitored by Simon through the cameras. Robin informs her that they belong here now and any attempt to escape will end very badly. Meanwhile, Simon shows up at their house and gives Jessica a new dress and a typewriter. Robin asks what kind of gift awaits her, but the man informs her that she won't be getting anything this time. Jessica says that Simon won't be able to buy her, or make her gutless like Robin. When the girl refuses dinner, the man says he forgives her this time, but next time she better do what he tells her. The dialogue is interrupted by the doorbell. With the help of the cameras, Simon recognizes that it is Evan, worried about his missing fiancé. Jessica starts to scream, but the kidnapper reminds her that it's useless. Simon lies to Evan that he doesn't know the girl's whereabouts and she may have decided to explore the neighborhood. Robin advises Jessica to forget about her old life, because it's best for everyone. Evan suddenly discovers that some of his fiancé's belongings are missing. The distraught man invites Tyler to his place and tells him that Jessica took a lot of clothes, but forgot her toothbrush and phone, which is very strange. Evan suddenly begins to suspect that maybe the girl has gone to Oscar, with whom she's been hanging out a lot. Meanwhile, Jessica discovers the iron marks on Robin's back. However, the prisoner justifies Simon's actions, saying that he did the right thing by punishing her for trying to escape. Before going to bed, Robin visits Jessica and supports her. Meanwhile, Tyler and Evan visit Oscar and interrogate him. The guy remembers that Jessica had suspicions about the neighbor, and the men decide to go to him. Simon pulls it off again, and says that he did buy a lot of food for dinner with the alumna. Meanwhile, Jessica continues to convince the other captive that they need to escape. Robin asks her to stop talking about it and almost cries. Suddenly, Simon bursts into the house and asks Jessica for her email and password to it. Having received the necessary, the man asks that the girl wear the dress he bought for dinner. Sitting at the bride's computer, Evan receives a message that Jessica is leaving him. In the evening, a distraught man sees Tyler and says that the girl couldn't just forget their 6 years together. Meanwhile, Jessica comes out to Simon and Robin in her new dress. The girl calls her captor crazy, for which the man twists her arm, and asks Robin to help her with dinner and styling her hair. At dinner, Simon emphasizes Jessica, gives her a gift and compliments her. Robin feels left out and humiliated. Suddenly Jessica stuns Simon with a frying pan and ties him to a chair. The girl tortures the kidnapper to find out the code to the door and get out. Suddenly Jessica is attacked by Robin, who is in love with Simon and wants to save him. Taking advantage of this, the man unties the ropes and tells the rebellious girl that she will have to accept her new fate. In the evening, Robin comes to Jessica and tells her that if it wasn't for her, the same thing that happened to Megan has happened to the girl. The girl kept trying to escape, and then Simon orders Robin to destroy her. A frustrated Evan returns home from work when a neighbor unexpectedly approaches him. Simon persistently invites a man to his house for a drink and relaxation. Jessica watches them and suddenly notices that her kidnapper has pulled out a gun. Simon comes to the girl and informs her of a new demand: if she does not obey, Evan will have to suffer, not her. The man gets his way and takes Jessica to the bedroom. Meanwhile, her fiancé throws away all reminders of his beloved. 6 weeks later, Evan puts up an ad to sell the house. Jessica asks Robin why she has become so embittered, and the girl tells her that the new girl has spent 3 nights in a row with Simon, which is very unfair. At dinner, the man continues to ignore his old toy and she decides to take action. In the bedroom, Robin informs Simon that Jessica still loves Evan and told her so herself. A man leads his wives out of the bedroom and says that lying is a horrible tumor on the body of any family. Afterward, Simon suddenly attacks Robin, saying he did it to protect Jessica. The girl retreats to her room and sobs, unable even to drown out with music the terrible sounds that accompany Simon's getting rid of the old toy. Meanwhile, Oscar calls Tyler and tells him that female students have been disappearing at all the places where his neighbor taught. A policeman comes to Simon's house and decides to look around, telling him that while he was teaching, girls named Megan and Robin disappeared under strange circumstances. The man swears he had nothing to do with it, after which he stuns Tyler with a bottle. Jessica says he couldn't have done otherwise, but Simon still doesn't trust the girl. Meanwhile, Evan sells the house and plans to move out. Simon arranges a test for Jessica and brings her into his house from the basement. The girl does not try to escape and asks to give Evan a bottle of wine as a parting gift. During the meeting, Jessica's fiancé suddenly notices a lipstick stain on Simon's shirt and realizes that his beloved is most likely at his place. The next morning, the girl prepares a vegetable pie and eats it with Simon. Evan learns from Oscar that before the tragedy, Tyler talked to a neighbor and decides to find his beloved. In the house, the man rushes through the rooms, shouting Jessica's name, and smelling the smell of vegetable pie, he is convinced that his beloved is inside. Simon realizes that the girl deceived him and decides to destroy Evan. At the last moment, the kidnapper is stunned by Jessica, who manages to figure out the code for the door. After a while, the girl visits Simon in the prison and says that now he will understand what it is like to be a prisoner. In addition, Jessica gives him the book Prisoners, which she wrote under the influence of her experience. No matter how hard Simon tried, the girl did not give up and was able to survive the horrors that happened to her. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.